Okay, so in the last video we have discussed about the section and the overview of our course, and in this video we will discuss how the internets really work. So whenever you make a request, for example you type www.google.com on your web browser, and your web browser will send a request to your ISP. Now what does that mean by ISP? ISP means the internet service provider, the company you pay for your internet. Okay, and then that company send a request to the DNS, because in the internet world there is not a name of www.google.com. Every internet device has its own IP address. Now what that mean by IP address? IP address means a location for a device. Like my laptop is something like 192 dot something, and your device would have another IP address. So in this way the internet works, and the DNS, a contact book where you can find all the IP address that is working currently, you can find from there. So the DNS says that I don't know www.google.com personally, but I have its address, so it will send to us. Now our ISP sent the address to us, and now our browser, for example, I will make a request on this certain IP address on my browser which has given me from a DNS. So I will make a request on that IP address. So you can see here the google.com has opened here. That means the IP address of that Google is same as www.google.com, and it is hard to remember all the IP address of everything. Like Facebook has its own IP address. A man living in another city can have its own address and different from a man living in another city. Like this, all the website have its own IP address, and then our browser will request to that IP address and to that server, and that server will respond to us and give us a certain files of HTML, CSS and JavaScripts in binary codes like 0110. You know, the computer can always understand these type of machine codes like 01, and then our browser work in a way that the file which he had received from the server, it will combine them and make them the Google look like, and the breakdown of Google, that how we can manipulate our own things in the Google. So let's open our web browser. Okay, so here we have a web browser. Now let me open a web browser here, and now we will see we can type here www.google.com, or we can type here its IP address. Now it is very hard to remember for me. That's why we use domain name like Google, Facebook, YouTube. It is hard to remember for a human a total number. Think about thousand of number you have to remember. That how would be your internet life be? Okay, so here we search this IP address here, and you can see we are on the Google main page. And if you will right click on anything here, and at the end of the menu you will see that here is a button of inspect. So I will click on it. And you can see here a beautiful menu on right side has popped up, and here you can see the different elements which are used by the Google. And in here, like I want to here my name, like here is Google search, I want to write here Waqar search here. Okay, I will click on it, and here you can see here is written Google search, and I will double click on it and open my keyboard here, and I will select the Google, and here I will say Waqar. And you can see we had written here Waqar search. Don't worry, if I will refresh this page and you will see the Google search here. Okay, so don't worry about it. So let's delete this button. So I will click on it and I will hide element. or I will remove this element only. Let me found this is delete element. So I have deleted this element, and I also want to delete this one. So I'll click on it and I will click this and delete it. Here you can do anything. I don't like it also, so I will select it. If you will see here mean you have to pick someone to erase or to inspect on. So I will click on this or this, you can see, and I will delete it. So don't worry about it, you are not doing illegal thing here. You can just refresh your page and all the thing will become as it was. So it is not doing something at the back end. What is it doing? The Google has sent us the information in HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So we are messing around these things, and when we refresh the page, the Google resend the files, resend a copy of files that is stored in the server of Google and which is situated a long distance from me. Okay, so that was for this video.